Coach, when you look at this game on paper, people are going to think there is absolutely no way you can walk into their place and win this game because of the humongous numbers they put up for the last 2 years and especially last year and in their first game. From a psychological standpoint, what do you say to your team this week to make sure that they don't go in there thinking they can't win this game?
Well, I mean, I think, first of all, you take a look at it. We're coming off a nice win, and granted, no disrespect to Connersville, but Connersville's not New Pal. But I thought that we put an amount of emphasis early on of playing better early on in the season, and I thought we did that against Connersville. So I mean, I think we can take out of that we're playing pretty well now. There's still things we got to do to get better, and obviously we have a daunting task ahead of us. But I think that the kids are up for the challenge. I mean, I think they understand that it is a great opportunity to play one of the state's best. And despite what people or the paper might read, that deep down that they know that they're going to give themselves a chance, and then they know what it's going to take to at least win or lose. They're going to leave it all hanging out there and hope for the best.
It seemed like this week the players I talked to, you mentioned opportunity, like they were taking this as a good opportunity to really show that Richmond football is something not to be played with. So at least they're going in with that mentality, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think that the fact that it is a non-conference game, that it is probably overall one of the toughest, stronger teams that we'll face all year. I mean, we're going in with the point that we got something to prove, and we're just going to go in and play hard and see what happens.
And realistically, in this game like this, you really have nothing to lose, do you?
No, absolutely not. I mean, you don't talk about that, but I think the kids are smart. They understand that, hey, we're going in, we have to play hard, we got to practice hard. They understand that is a different animal that they're facing this week. And that they know that they better be ready to play their best football, and I think that they're up for that challenge.
Well, certainly why we play the game, right?
That's right.
Coach, from a physicality standpoint, talk about what you see in New Pal, because I know the other day in practice, there are a couple of coaches trying to get your guys to be more physical because you're going to have to bang heads with them a
Certainly.
lot. How physical are they? Is this one of the more physical teams you'll play?
Well, they are probably man per man, one of the strongest, physically strongest, and most physical teams that we'll play. Their linemen are big and strong. They move well. Their fast kids are big and strong, and they come flying around. And there's a reason why they're, right now they're number one in 5A. We just need to know that the speed of the game is going to be a little bit different. The physicality of the game is going to be a little bit different. So, we've been trying to get them ready for that. I think that they understand that. With some of our depth issues, that we've talked about before, it's hard to simulate that on a play-by-play basis with scout team guys and this and that. Obviously there's probably going to be a little bit of a learning curve. I think it might take us a couple or a series or two to really be in tune with the speed of the game and the physicalness of it. I think it's one of the things that the kids, that they have high aspirations of themselves. They have high aspirations for this program, and they know that playing teams like New Pal can only make us better.
Yeah. Coach, the one thing about going over there, the last time you were there, they got off to a quick start, and then last year they got off to a quick start and scored some early points. How vital is it that you really kind of keep that in check here in the first quarter and not let them get ahead of you quickly?
Well, I think that's it. I think that's obviously important. Last year, that we held them on a fourth down. They fake field goal or fake punt, go and score, and we committed a few mistakes. They're a very good ball club, but some of the mistakes we made last year were self-inflicted. Mm-hmm. I think that if we can take care of the ball on the offensive side and not have any silly turnovers or silly penalties, I think that gives us an opportunity to slow them down at least at the beginning and see what happens throughout the course of the game.
Has it been hard to at least from a standpoint of get a feel for this in practice of how fast they are and such? Have you been able to kind of dictate that a little bit, or has practice been hard to duplicate?
Well, it's a little bit hard to duplicate. I mean, I think the kids are aware of it; they know it. They're also a no huddle team, and they have varying degrees. They can go very fast if they want to go very fast, or they can slow it down. So I think what you saw in practice the other day, we were running two offenses against the defense, and trying to give them an indication of what it's going to be like to have a relentless offense coming against them, at least from a defensive side. So, I mean, like I said, it's hard to simulate. It's hard to get done, but the kids are aware of it. And, again, like I said, we'll just be ready for the challenge and go in, give it our best shot.
Coach, from last week, what did you like about what you saw? Offensively, maybe not scored quite as much as you wanted to. You had a couple of defensive scores and a special team score. What did you like about last week?
Well, I liked the whole lot. I mean, honestly, I'm you know me long enough that I always find something to not like and kind of emphasize that. But I think that, overall I was very pleased with last week how we performed. Offensively, I thought we executed very well at times. You look at. We only had 36 plays in the entire game.
Wow.
So, the number of points that we put up on versus the number of opportunities we got, I thought was pretty good. Special teams, obviously, is one of the things early on in the season that often gets overlooked, and teams sometimes struggle a little bit on as special teams, but I thought our special teams played very well. We also had, Coach Bain does a nice job coordinating that, and during the course of the game we had certain injuries and certain kids out and kids cramping, and I think maybe only once. When one of those guys is on a special teams, they're often the special teams guy's the last one to know that player's out. Yeah. So I think from an organizational standpoint, I thought we did a great job on special teams as well, and getting kids out there and this and that. And then obviously from the defensive side, I think that. There were times that Connersville made some nice plays and we gave up some yardage, but obviously I thought you got to see a little bit of what we've talked about with team speed and blitzing and making some things happen, and then three turnovers, two of them turning into a touchdown, an interception return, and a fumble return for a touchdown. So from a very first game standpoint. We as a staff felt pretty good about how we performed, and obviously there's always things you can get better on and this and that. But I thought that the last couple of years, like I said, we've had I thought our first game or two it took us a while to get going, and I was just happy to see that I thought that we were ready to play and maybe a week or so further along game one this year than we were last year.
You and I always talk about the injury factor, and because, again, your team maybe isn't as deep as you would like it to be, are you as healthy as you can be again going into this one, or you have a couple of bang-ups here or there?
No, we have a few bang-ups and again, a few kids that have been penciled in as starters, still not ready to play, and a couple things happened this week that we're just not sure where we're going to be at, but hey, that's as we always say, it's next man up, and whether it's a sophomore or a senior that is getting his first opportunity to start, hey, expectations, don't play, go in and perform and do the best you can.
You bet. Coach, good luck tonight.
Great, thank you.